It's the highlight of round 10, the top of the table clash from the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide puts its credentials on the line against Hawthorn, the reigning premier. They might be wounded, but they're proud and fierce nonetheless. And in an atmosphere that will be rollicking and can be experienced here on Fox Footy Live, it is not to be missed. Well, like few clubs in the past, Port Adelaide's taken us inside the journey as they attempt this rise. And Ken Hinkley told us last night of a changing mantra, why not now, for this team. It is a club that is steeped in history and the creed of Foss Williams, words penned 50 years ago that remain just as relevant to the new incarnation of the club.
We, the players and management of the Port Adelaide Football Club, accept the heritage
which players and administrators have passed down to us.
In doing so, we do not intend to rest in idleness,
but shall strive with all our power to further this club's unexcelled achievements.
To do this, we believe
that there is great merit
and noble achievement in winning a premiership.
That to be successful, each and every one of us
must be active,
aggressive,
and devoted to the cause.
We agree that success is well within our reach,
and have confidence that each member of both the team and management
will suffer personal sacrifices for the common end.
Also, we know that,
After striving to our utmost,
after giving our everything, still not be successful,
our efforts will become a further part of this club's enviable tradition.
And the Port Power right now are on top of the world.
finally, we concede.
There can be honour in defeat. But to each of us,
Honourable defeat of our club and Guernsey
can only come
after human endeavour on the playing field
is completely exhausted.
Port are coming now. Bring on the Hawks.
The words of Foss Williams, adopted by the current players and the coach of Port Adelaide. There is great merit and noble achievement in winning a premiership. The next test comes against Hawthorn on Saturday night. Cameron Mooney, welcome.
Jared,
Barry Hall.
Robbo, good to see you.
Jared. So they're embracing
Barry.
Stop it.
Embracing the past.
They're embracing the possibilities. I thought that was the takeout from Ken Hinkley last night. Why not now?
Well, why not now? I mean, it's exactly the point. Why not now? I mean, they're flying at the moment. We know they're a great side. They're outrunning everybody. Their confidence is sky high. You know, their confidence is not even in the playing group, just the club, the supporters. He's spot on. Why not now? I mean, we talk about these young groups and are they ready? Well, over the last 18 months, they've got to this point where we think they are ready.
Well, they're ready.
They start favourite against Hawthorn, so that is something to deal with. There's a broad assumption that they'll beat the wounded Hawks.
Yeah, look, it's the first time we've seen Hawthorn very vulnerable, and they certainly are with Gibson and Roughhead out. And look, Port Adelaide got along beautifully, obviously. Two of the highest scoring teams in the competition, but they both defend as well. And that's probably been the biggest surprise to me with Port Adelaide, is how well they've defended. You know, I thought their backline might be an issue, but they're just working as a unit and as a team. And there's no one player that's standing out. It's just a real team effort in terms of defence, and that's been the real standout for me, is the defensive pressure and how they've defended goals.
It's their fitness as well, because they put so much pressure on the ball carrier, and if they're not putting pressure on him, then they're getting back inside 50 to help their defenders out, and then they're getting it and just running it down the other end.
You know why everyone likes them? Because clubs are so process and clinical. Port embrace all those emotions of football. So if you're a Port supporter, you're listening to this going, honour and heritage, and you know, and people, that's what we who didn't play at the highest level, that's what we buy into, I reckon. They're doing it superbly. They're embracing everyone.
They're giving us a good inside look, aren't they? I mean, you were down there a couple of weeks ago, and just to allow the cameras in the inner sanctum of the footy club the way they have this year, And I think that's probably the one thing that probably Kenny had against his name when he was going for coaching was he media savvy? Could he embrace the media and bring all that into the footy club? And I think that may have held him back from a couple of jobs from what I hear. And now that he's done it, we're all thinking, every club would have been thinking, geez, why didn't we get this man in?
There's one thing, the first 12 months, and why 2 years on under Kenny Hinkley, people thought they might drop off, because the first year was all excitement. But now that you can see there's real fabric underneath what they're doing, and it's real. And they're going in a beautiful direction, and geez, they've improved from last year. So there's some actual fabric in what they're doing. It's not just a high that they were on last year, and it's all new and fresh. They're actually showing that they can sustain this.
Grand final tomorrow, and Port Adelaide was playing someone else in the competition. You're picking Port Adelaide, aren't you?
Probably, yes. Maybe a full strength Hawthorn.
Swans are going okay at the moment, but Port, they're going nicely.
So Hawthorn, the focus right through has been what's not there, and yet tonight Hodge and Sewell and Shields, who I think they've missed far more than has been credited since he had the hiccup after the Gold Coast game. They're not to be trifled with, I don't think. I think there's still a legitimate hope here.
Yeah, they are. Look, they got a great list. We know that. We know they've got some real depth in the list. But Gibson is one of the most important players for me with his flexibility and what he does in the back line. So that's a really big loss for them. And obviously Roughhead, he's a good goal kicker. I know Gunston and Bruce and these guys have stepped up in terms of their goal output. But there are a couple of big losses that are really hard to cover.
What do you reckon?
Look, they are. Look, I think it's going to be a good test for their younger guys coming through, and probably their program. And when we talk about in Geelong, when we had our reserve side, we could play the way that they played the way that we wanted them to play. And so when they stepped up into the AFL system, they knew exactly what to do. And Hawthorn have had that for a long, long time as well. And they run very deep in their list. And I'm a bit the same. I think Port will win because of the huge outs that Hawthorn have, but I can't see it being a blowout. I just think these guys that come in, they know exactly what to do. They play their roles well, and they'll make it a fight.